The Frituals, written and performed by author Caitlin Costello. Chapter 21. Paulo. Paulo can't sleep. Not when he doesn't know what is happening to Shauna. He can't try to contact her, not with the dark ones listening in. Paulo had tried briefly, but she had put up a wall that was too thick for him to get through. He rolls over again onto his back. Lyra had brought him to a cave she had found on the mountain just across the plain. The roof of the cave arches above him about 10 feet. There's a small hole in the ceiling, like a rabbit had tried to build a den, but too late realized its mistake. It did make a good smoke hole for the tiny fire in the center of the cave. Lyra lies fast asleep a few feet away. Her face is calm and serene. It's like she's able to take all of the worries of the day and cast them aside, like water rolling over a waterfall. This girl he had just met is the next step in his journey, and he knows nothing about her. Was this how Shauna had felt meeting me? How long did it take for her to really trust me? No, he thinks. I can't think like that. They would want that, but I can't. I can... just a peek, right? Slowly, he rises to a low crouch and begins to move to Lyra's small bag. He lifts open the leather pouch. Inside, there's a small bundle of herbs wrapped in a large leaf, a roll of bandages, some berries and fruits, and a small bag of coins. Paulo sits back on his heels. He has learned nothing except that Lyra packs light. He has learned nothing except that Lyra packed only the necessities and kept it small. I have to pack light. It's easier for me to travel, flying the way I do, if I pack light, the elf says, sitting up. Paulo stammers, his ears flushing a bright red. He searches for something to say, a way to excuse himself, but he's been caught. He still has her bag open in his hand. I'm sorry, he finally mumbles, quickly putting the bag back in its original location. It's quite all right. You were trying to figure out what kind of person I am. I did the same thing when you dozed off a bit earlier, she replies simply. How do you travel carrying all that gear? All those books? Paulo looks at the large pile of books, food, and weapons he has been carrying. Part of it is Shauna's. She thought it would be better if I carried the more valuable things so we could get away faster. I'm a better fighter than her, he trailed off. Lyra comes and sits next to him. So what? She asks with large eyes full of sympathy. He stares hard at his hands. So, I am a better fighter. I was supposed to protect her, and I didn't. I didn't even know she was in trouble until it was too late. I was going to protect her. I was going to protect her so I didn't lose her too. Like my brother. They killed him to get to me, and now I'm going to lose the only friend I have left. Hey. Lyra puts a hand on his arms. We will get her back. We will make a plan and get her back. Then you'll have 2 friends. Paulo looks up at her, a small light back in his eyes. Don't worry. I have a plan. Go to sleep now. We will start in the morning, Lyra says, lying back down. Paulo wants to ask for more information. That small bite of hope doesn't feel like enough. Get some sleep. I will keep watch. Being dead on your feet won't help your friend. Chapter 22. Baron. Flames dance along the walls, flickering over his black uniform. How long had he been standing here? 7, 8 hours? Looking over at nothing. A single soul is up on the wall with Baron. Another guard. He doesn't know who he is. Must have been from another division. Baron scans the horizon again, but the only thing that moves is the leaves on the trees in the distance. With the hand not holding his staff, he begins pinching and releasing the skin on his thigh. The pressure on his skin burns, but it brings a bit of clarity to his mind. Our watch should be over soon, the other guard says. He gestures casually in the direction the sun will rise. You can make out the dawn. Baron looks where the man is pointing with skepticism. There is a faint glow on the horizon, but that isn't the sun. They are guarding the wall on the western front. If the sun is rising from there, They have bigger problems. There was a city that way, a once great city that Baron had lived in for most of his life. It had at one point been a magnificent city, but the Dark Ones had captured it for themselves. But the glow is from the hundreds of torches and fire of those without homes. I'm sorry to disappoint you, friend, but that is not the sun. That is the city of Bulandon. The lights you see are all the bonfires the people must light now to keep warm that the city has been razed and all of their homes destroyed, he says, bitterness creeping into his voice. Oh, you sound like you have some opinions on that. One that shouldn't be shared while we are in uniform. Baron looks out at his lost Bulandon. It happened a long time ago. Baron hears the scrape of boots on the stone stairs and turns to see his father coming up the steps with 2 guards. An escort or their replacement? How is the watch, Baron? Anyone from Bulandon come and bother us again? No, sir, Baron replies. He thinks of the woman and 2 children that had come recently, begging for help. She was gaunt and filthy. She had been giving all of her food to her children. She'd asked for help, and they had refused to help her because of her children's imperfect skin. They'd called them half-breeds, things less than nothing, that the children were disgusting. Baron thought that the people he served were the disgusting ones. She had fought, screaming that it wasn't fair, that her choice to marry a human shouldn't harm her children. She was taken away, and the doctor came back shortly saying the mother had died of exhaustion. Baron almost believed that diagnosis. He never heard what happened to the children. He didn't think he wanted to know either. No signs of movement here or there coming from Bulandon. Excellent. You 2 are relieved of your duties for the night. But Baron, I would like to see you in my chambers. I will have a breakfast laid out for you after you change, his father said. Baron notices that there is no room to alter the request. His father did that, laying out a step-by-step order with no way to deviate from it. I will be there shortly, Baron says, imagining the hot bath he could have taken to leach the cold night from his skin. Good. I'll expect you in my chambers in no more than 30 minutes. He turns and goes down the ramparts, his officer's cape billowing around behind him. Your father is General Nurzan? The guard who Baron had been with all night asks in disbelief. Yes, General Nurzan is my father. No, I won't report you for anything you said or did tonight. I am not a spy. I am a fellow soldier like you, Baron says in a dry, monotone voice. I'm guessing you get that a lot. I'm sorry. You seem more relaxed than him. That is because I am not him. I am his son, but we are not the same elf. Baron hated when people compared him to his father. When people put it together, when they stood next to each other, and people realized they had the same dark tone to their skin, and they had the same eye color and posture, which Baron hated more than anything. You guard just like your father used to. We know you'll make it far within our ranks. He hated it. People forget that we are not just like our fathers. We had mothers too. The other elf nods in agreement. So what is your mother like? Baron's chest tightens. He hadn't meant to mention mothers. His mother. She is dead. We killed her. What? You killed your mother? No, not me. Baron says quickly. This order did. The Dark Ones. She didn't believe the same things my father did. She told him what he was doing was wrong. Baron pauses. She told him she was going to help the people in Bulandon. His reply was that if she went, he couldn't stop the soldiers from attacking her. She went anyway. The guard is quiet. Oh, I'm sorry. I never thought Lord Nurzan would have a wife who was a... Don't. Baron snaps. Don't you dare call her that. My mother was not a radical. She just wanted peace, and the Dark Ones don't. He turns and stalks to his room. He shuts the door and leans on it. taking deep breaths and pushing away the emotions that come with talking about his broken family. Baron hated his father and all he did. All he did and thought about was destroying things. His mother had been a creatress. She knew some of the old magic. She used to play with him, blowing him around with wind, picking him up. He had never been happier than when he was playing with his mother. He began changing his clothes, peeling the cold ones off his body and throwing them over by the fire. Baron moves over to the fire, sitting close to his heat. He can feel it almost burning his skin. It feels tight and hot and painful after the cold night. He stands there a few more seconds before moving to his trunk. He pulls out a few more articles of clothes and looks identical to how he had 10 minutes ago on the ramparts. He grabs his sword. His father had given it to him, and buckles it around his waist and makes his way from his room to his father's on the floor above. He wonders what his father had found to lecture him about this time. Last he heard, his father had been called to Cabanarel Lake. What would bring him back so quickly? He must have taken one of his stronger attendants if he was able to make the jump to Cabanarel and back in under a week. Something must have happened. Now he was going to get a lecture on loyalty. Baron was never a good Dark One. He was too much like his mother. Said as an insult, but he wanted to be like his beautiful mother, so it didn't sting like the others. He wonders if anyone had reported him talking about his mother, but that had been just after he had been summoned. He climbed the stairs that had once led to a king's chambers. His father loved to gloat on that fact. "I live in the palace of a king," he would say. "I sleep in his room. I write at his desk. Does this make me a king?" Baron knocks on the door 3 times. "Enter," his father calls. Upon entering, Baron is surprised by just how many scrolls are all over the room. General Nurzan never was messy. He needed organization everywhere to function. But now he is harried. His eyes jump from page to page, reading and recording things on a small black notebook. "Ah, Baron. Perfect. Sit." His voice is calm and silky as ever. "Now, this disaster may surprise you." "Just a little." The general keeps talking like he hadn't heard Baron at all. "But there is a reason for it. You know that old monk we captured when we took Bulandin? He thinks now that the spirit Fritual will surface. Finally. I've been searching for years." Baron rolls his eyes and then quickly looks down, hoping his father won't notice. The Dark Ones had taken Bulandin on a rumor that the spirit Fritual was there already, though the test hadn't been done in years. Every so often, another rumor would surface, but nothing came of it. What makes him so sure now? Water and fire were found, Baron. We have now seen all but spirit. Baron grips the arms of the chair. What? Both? How? They came from the same city. They were both from Cabanarel. Fire hasn't been tested yet. Damien's men caught the fire ritual on the way to Fogaste Peak. I have reports of all 4, but I'm not sure if they are together. Spirit must surface now and be with them. I will catch them. Baron liked to sit and talk with the old monk, Alois, sometimes when he wasn't on duty. The elf was very knowledgeable and didn't judge him for his patronage. He had known the boy's mother. So, what will you do? For the first time since Baron walked in, Nurzan looks up. I am not going to do anything, but you are. Baron's confused. You are going back to Bulandin and will talk to the people. You will find him. You want me to be the one to hunt for him or her this time? Of course. You will be more useful to me doing this than sitting up on a wall for 8 hours at a time. You will go on a sort of undercover mission to Bulandin and stay there for a time. I have already bought and had a room furnished for you. You simply need to get on a horse and go. Father. Baron pauses, searching for words. You know it is my deepest wish to go home, but there are quite a few things I still don't understand. How will I even know when I find the Fritual? There isn't some sign that says this is me. They haven't been tested. They won't have markings to distinguish them from an average person. I don't know if they will be human or elf, as that seems to be an option now. It makes the search even harder. Nurzan laughs. Do you think I would send my only son out there blind? This book has all the notes I can think that you will need. But I know our fighting styles vary, and you will want to attack this mission from a different angle. So, he opens a drawer and pulls out a large silver key. Take the key and this book and go and speak with the monk. Do whatever you need to get the information you want. He hands the 2 items to Baron. You had best not fail me in this. I need to find this Fritual. Yes, Father. I will do as you wish. When must I leave? I told the guard tower that you will have work for the next few weeks. So that will take you away from here starting this afternoon. So go and rest. You can begin after you've slept.
Hi everyone, I wanted to pop in and let you know, until all the stars are found, my newest book is now available for pre-order. This young adult science fiction novel will be published on March 6th, 2021. Click the link in the show notes to see where you can pick up the book today. While I have you here, I wanted to share the back matter of the book. Joining the Galactic Garrison was the best decision that Ada Gomez ever made for herself. Or so she thought. Orphaned with her brother Sarkis in the foster system, who she can't claim custody of, a guardian who is days from kicking her out, and no job. There is nothing left for her on planet Earth. The only thing going for her is that she has made it. After 3 years of work, Ada has qualified to begin training for the esteemed Special Operations Team on the Galactic Garrison Space Station. Joining the Spec Ops Division is a chance to start over, to make a name for herself. And if she plays her cards right, maybe Ada can get Sarkis back. But her journey is just beginning. Being in the Spec Ops isn't easy. It isn't supposed to be. Any sign of weakness must be squashed. Fear is the devil, and hesitation is worse than death. But some of the training doesn't add up, and any semblance of structure? It looks like Ada left that back on Earth. Ada and her team do their best to put the pieces together and figure out what exactly is going on, and roll with the punches, both mentally and physically, to come out on top. Little do they know, the hardest test is yet to come. Because this year, everything is different. Until All the Stars Are Found, a young adult science fiction novel, is now available for pre-order. Its publication date is March 6th, 2021.
Hi everybody, this is Caitlin Costello, the author and narrator of The Frituals. If you've enjoyed this podcast so far, please leave a review or a rating where you listened. It really helps to get the podcast in front of more people. If you can't possibly wait for another episode of The Frituals, fear not, because the full audiobook is now available. A slew of stores, including Google Play, Apple, HiBooks, Scribd, Chirp, Kobo, Walmart, audiobooks.com, and Nook Audiobooks. And it's being added to more stores every single day. It's also available at your local library, so if you request it from your library, they should be able to get it into their system fairly quickly. I am running a sale currently on signed print editions of the book, and these are 20% off using code SPOOKY through October 31st. That is code SPOOKY through October 31st from CaitlinCostello.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. This has been a production of The Frituals, written and performed by Caitlin Costello. Text copyright 2018 to Caitlin Costello. Production copyright 2020 Caitlin Costello.